So I always ask this question. First of all, and this is one of the concerns, with a direct access CBDC, the central bank does see all of your transactions. It does. That's why China does it. That's not what we're doing. We're doing an intermediated one. All we see is movement across the banks. We don't know why the banks are moving $10. We don't ask. That's all we see. The bank says, send 10 of mine to that other bank. We don't know why they're doing it, what it's for, who's doing it, what customer. Nothing. So an intermediated account prevents that kind of monitoring by the Federal Reserve. But I always ask this question to people who throw this national security argument at me. If I let you all have an intermediated CBC account at your current bank, and you can choose to pay your electric bill with your bank account or the CBDC account, how in the hell is that going to preserve the reserve currency status of the US dollar? It doesn't. You could enhance the reserve currency status if you let foreigners open up accounts at the Fed. No one's talking about that. That's not going to happen. So it's not clear why people think that this is a threat to the reserve currency of the US dollar. So I think I'm close to finishing on time. So this is a question I posed in my speech, thinking like an economist. What major market failure exists in the payment system that only a retail CBDC can solve? And the title of my speech was CBDC, a solution in search of a problem. What is the problem, right? First, tell me what the major problems are. Don't tell me like, oh, it could do that, and it could do this, and do that. That's an infomercial, right? What do infomercials do? It slices, it dices, it minces, it mashes. It never once says, do you really need this, right? And that's the way all these CBDCs have been promoted is as infomercials. And so I pose this question, start pointing out why we need it fundamentally. That we need this. Why should the Fed become a direct competitor with the banking system? Like I said, we don't do it with any other thing in the US. We don't have government-produced clothing, food. We do some shelter, but cars, everything else, we don't have the government having firms that are state-owned producing it. So why is this thing the thing we are going to break that tradition in the US? Like I said, the Europeans have no problem with this. All right, so anyway, that's really it. So retail CBDCs are of great interest to central banks around the world, but to me, the case for adopting one is not yet convincing. Wholesale CBDC is a different animal. It's really a payment instrument across banks. There, I could imagine a way to tokenize reserves to make faster payments across the international banking system. That's a different animal. But to give customers, retail customers, a CBDC, I just don't see the use case for it at present, okay? All right, so I just wanted this last, we put this paper out that has gotten something like 10,000 comments, in terms of using it, 2,000 comments. And this is just the first step in the process of doing this. And the thing I really want to stress is that there's a lot of chatter about, can the Fed do this? It doesn't look like we can legally. I don't see how that can happen. And even if you could, I don't think 7 unelected people should be making this decision for the country. Not this. That should be up to Congress. That's what we have Congress there for. It's just too important to leave it to me, Chris Waller, to say, yeah, let's do it, or not do it.